girl. I'm really just trying to figure out.
And good evening and welcome to Baker Forward, the Baker Chamber edition. I'm Bert Carson. Tonight our guest is a photographer who has quite a different background, so to speak, that we're going to get into. I want to welcome to the show Leslie Henderson. Good to see you. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, Bert.
Leslie, let's talk a little bit about, we've been talking beforehand, and you've got quite a background and a bunch of stuff that you've done in the past. And also tell me, how did you, I guess first of all, tell us the name of your business and where you are here in Baker.
The name of the business is Henderson Photography Studio. So I'm right at 3211 Levy Lane, which is in the same complex with the Baskin Robbins ice cream there. So many people know that as a landmark.
Mm-hmm.
But my business is wedding and portrait, high school portraits, portfolios, event photography, things of that nature, headshots, executive headshots. The movie industry is growing in this area, so
right.
A lot of people need black and white headshots done.
Right.
I provide those and try to show people a more professional side of themselves and give them that structure that they're looking for.
Well, let's, and we're going to get into more detail about, all what you do, but let's start off with your background. Like, how did you get started? What made you want to go into doing this?
Actually, right out of high school, I was a commercial art student, and they started a photography class right at the end of my senior year. And my dad, I remember him giving me his camera, and he was a police officer, and they used to keep a camera for, I guess, some police work or whatever.
Crime scene photos and stuff like that, right?
So he kept a camera, 35 millimeter, in his car, and I remember him loaning it to me when they said career day, and so I said I want to go in as a newspaper photographer for career day. And then he loaned me his camera to walk around with, but I just got so fascinated with faces and the interests of faces and the expression of people, and it was just something that really fascinated me, you know, to say the least, And so that pulled a really nice, a really strong interest with me, with people and how they do. So I guess, which resonates to wedding photography and portraits and glamour shots now, because I think people themselves are just really interesting. And even when I'm not behind the camera, sometimes I find myself just staring at people's expressions,
right.
See what they do,
Just a people watcher.
Very much so, very much so. I'll go to the mall to go to the movie, and I'll sit down, have a soda, and just watch how people interact, what they do, facial expressions, funny things like that. Watch when at a restaurant, watch what people do when they're at a restaurant, once they get happy and their feet start kicking under the table, stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm really a people watcher, and it helps you interact. And photography, it doesn't become someone who steps behind the camera. It becomes a relationship and interacting with people, and knowing that person to get the best out of them. So the emotions of that particular person, no matter who they are, bringing it full swing around, like that. So that I kind of, I think my photography is an expression of who a person is, like they always say, art imitates life.
Right.
So I think that's, what my photography does, and try to put people in the best lighting I can,
So that was in high school, and did you carry that further into college, or where did you go from there with it?
I left college and went into the Marine Corps in 1984, and from there, one of the universities that was available for us was UCLA, and fortunately for me, it was a film school, and I cast that over to. The first thing I jumped into was film and photography, photography and fine art, which was my major, but film and photography. And had a wonderful time, because fortunately for me, state of California is big on that. And so it was just a plethora of canvases and people to work with, and different types of photography out there. Everything from movies to sports cars to everything that you kind of wanted to deal with. And so I kind of got into a vast pool of different types of photography. Like, I guess when I would be in the military, I was on an air wing, so I had planes landing and taking off all the time. So I was able to practice my sports photography there by catching planes, touch and go.
Right.
Not
right.
commercial airplanes, but actual military jets. So
right.
imagine they're 10 times faster.
Right.
So they're touching and going a lot faster, like within seconds. So I got to hone my skills there pretty well. I wound up going overseas to Japan, and so some of the monasteries that was there, and some of the ancient places, photographing these places and learn how to do it right. So it really put me in a different place where I was able to do different types of photography that maybe someone who just go to college and learn the art of photography would only like catch one feel. So it made me kind of over the field of photography, it kind of make you understand different types because you've been exposed to different things.
Right.
So it was everything from fast cars and speeding planes to balancing weird light in the most odd of places. Some of these sanctuaries in Japan that was, you had to have a local person to take you there. You couldn't go there because you just had to have somebody that knew the area.
Right.
They considered it a sacrament if you would go there and step on this sacred ground or whatever. So you had to kind of know, there had to be a local person to take you there. So learning that type of photography, it enabled me to go into some of the Hollywood scenes at time when I wound up getting called later on, and being able to do a job and do it well because I had the experience and I've been there before in sort of a way. The light scenes were recognizable,
right?
And it kind of just made me go back. So my life took me on a different journey, but I'm grateful because I got to see a lot of things that I don't think I would have been exposed to on a normal basis.
Right.
So basically, out of college, went to the Marine Corps, and when I got out of the Marine Corps, I went back in the Marine Corps as as an officer, and I, studied my photography and just kind of started making it a little bit better, and then a little bit later on, I wound up locking down a job as director of photography for No Limit Records, which took me on a whole nother journey in Hollywood where I did not even expect, and I met a numerous amount of celebrities and photographed a numerous amount of celebrities, and I just don't think a kid with my background, being from the Ninth Ward in New Orleans, would have been exposed to, that level, that amount of people out there, celebrities that got introduced to me because they were friends of friends, and because we like your work, and
right.
And it just was amazing. And I've gotten calls from people that I just wouldn't believe. I've done jobs for people. I think I've done a job for Steven Spielberg. He called me one day and out of the blue, and I had no idea and just wouldn't believe. Matter of fact, I hung up on him twice before I answered the phone, and it turned into being a job for Chris Rock. I did an album cover for Chris Rock in 1999, and it was just amazing where your work will take you.
Right.
I've photographed Master P and Snoop Dogg and Kenny Babyface Edmonds and Reba McEntire, and as a list, it goes.
Right.
And
well, and that's what I was talking about. You had such a diverse background of everything that you've gotten to see and do and all, and of course all that is fed back in to help you build, your business that you're doing now.
It helped me build a business that I'm doing now, and most importantly, being exposed to the industry like I was, it helped me understand the business side of it.
Right.
And so sometimes it's easier or better to have an understanding of the business than the actual field itself. Your skill is one thing, but you should know how to handle the business side of it.
Right.
Because
well, let's take a break. We need to take a break, and we're going to talk more about your business. Okay. And all that you do here with your studio.
Okay.
So we'll be right back with Baker Forward right after this. And welcome back to Baker Forward, the Baker Chamber Edition. Tonight, my guest is Leslie Henderson of Henderson Photography. And Leslie, we were talking about in the last segment about your diverse background that's helped you kind of come together and do the business that you're doing and all. And now you do, one of the aspects of your business is doing wedding photography and family portraits and things like that. So talk about that a little bit about what your business does.
Well, the family portraits and the weddings kind of go hand in hand in reference to, I think like I was telling you before, we kind of start the business in a relationship aspect because your portraits are done pretty much after your wedding stuff is done. Your wedding stuff, you create relationships with people. You're going to start with pre-bridal stuff, and then from the pre-bridal stuff where that bride would get dressed, you may do engagement stuff as well for the brides, and then from the engagement stuff you would move into the wedding stuff, and from the wedding stuff you would move into of course the family portrait stuff. But to back that up just a tad bit, you would create a relationship between yourself and the client, because a lot of brides look for people that they can trust. They look for photographers that would bring out the detail and what they're looking for. They spend so very much time looking for that right pair of shoes. I
would definitely think a bridal shoot would be a lot more stressful than, say, a family portrait shoot.
Well, let me say, it can be, but I guess if you love what you do, it becomes interesting, because every bride is fascinated with her little bitty things that she do. It's just, it fascinates her. So there's a stress level to it, but I guess when you get used to it, you're anticipating the big day, it sort of gets a little just interesting and fascinating to you as well, because you become enveloped in the whole process as well too. And every bride carries a different aura. Every bride does, so the scenario of every wedding is just a wedding, that's not. It's not.
Oh no, and especially in the bride's eyes.
And especially in the bride's eye, because no, my wedding is not like her wedding. And her wedding had not been like mine. And so that little bit.
What do brides need to look for?
Well, I would say the brides need to they're looking for a photographer that really care about the little things that they're trying to bring out in their particular album. And that's the things that I'll do with the bride. I'll sit down and have that consultation with her to figure out just exactly what you're looking for. Tell me about your wedding. And as she started telling me about her wedding, she's looking for somebody who's to have attention to detail, somebody who's going to give her great color in her wedding, who's going to give her back the candid stuff that she's looking for, and actually give her a book, a story that will carry over from her day, and it will show her that the day that you plan, this is how beautiful, this is how a professional sees it in his eyes, and I've given you that. So when you're looking for a photographer, you're looking for someone who can tell your story, pictorially wise, can tell your story and give it back to you in that form, so that when you have your guests over later on after you're married, they can see the same story and enjoy the same day that you planned. Took you a year to plan. They want to be able to enjoy that day. They want to be able to look at that book over and over again and make it work for them. Someone who could capture that day without making their dress too white where you can't see the details. The details in the dress, you need to be able to see those pearls that's on her neck. You need to be able to catch that fabulous makeup that's on her face. You need to be able to catch that hair. Somebody who, all the little details that they put together, from the hair to the face to the eyelashes to the jewelry on their neck to jewelry on their ears to that beaded application on their dress to those shoes that's so wonderful and that ring that's so nice. I have kind of a signature piece that I do with the shoes and the ring, and so people tend to want to do that and to catch that whole thing together and put that in an album that displays their day for them. So that's kind of what what we're looking at when a bride should be looking for that person. And then after that, it carries over to first come marriage, then come baby carriage, and next thing you know, we have infant portraits coming along, maternity portraits, and then infant pictures coming along, and then the family portraits are coming along. So you create relationships with people, and you're there for a lifetime You
That's
know.
true. It kind of goes from the bride to what you just said, and then eventually into graduation pictures and things like that.
Exactly.
So, okay.
Exactly.
Well, also you do a lot of commercial work or whatever. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to talk to Leslie about some of the things that he's done in the commercial field. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Baker Forward, the Baker Chamber Edition. Again, my guest tonight is Leslie Henderson of Henderson Photography. And Leslie, we talked a little bit about your background and the bridal thing, but you also have another aspect of your business, the commercial side. Kind of explain what that would be.
The commercial side is we do a lot of portraits or headshots, and for businesses that, I guess, what you're looking to do is expand your business. So,
right.
Headshots would be stuff that you would either put on your business card or billboards, or for magazines that you would be trying to produce an ad for, and it becomes so much more important these days to have to connect the face with the business, because businesses are so personal these days. So that's kind of how people are dealing with other businesses, by knowing who that person is that they're dealing with, you know.
Right.
And so I'll create a magazine image for you to produce, you know, a TV quality image or billboard quality image.
Or they can use it in a brochure, or like I said, a business card.
Brochure, a business card, so they could pass along, and people create that look where people start recognizing their face. And I have a couple of customers, a few clients out there that really have been producing their face and marrying it to their business. And when people say that business, they recognize that person's face. And when they're talking to other people, they're recognizing that face. They says, oh, such and such a business. Oh, that's so-and-so. Oh, yeah. And so they kind of do that. So that's and a lot of people get it messed up with photography. They think that you just snap a picture and put it on there. It doesn't work.
Right.
You want to look your best. So why go to a five and dime place to get your portrait done when you're advertising your business that you want to bring money in?
Right.
So if you're trying to do that, my strong suggestion to you is let a professional do it. If you had a medical issue, would you go to a shade tree medical person?
Right.
No, you're gonna go to a hospital. You're gonna let a doctor take care, and you want to be seen by the best that your money can afford. So why not, if you care about your business, it's like a medical situation. It's do or die, you know. So if you care about your business, why not come and see a professional who's gonna make you look your best, so that you can project that same image to the public, so that if John Q. Public is who you're trying to attract to your business, you want to look your best. And you want somebody who's going to make you look your best.
Right. Well, and I think too, with what you're saying of marrying that face with your business, that you probably would also maybe give them suggestions on how they need to be in the shot, not just sitting on a black background in a store somewhere.
Definitely. It's a good thing you said that. That is the most important thing between a professional and someone that's just snapping a camera. A professional have all aspects of that. You know, you're not going to walk into my studio and I'm going to let you sit up there and take a picture. No, you're going to be directed. I had a pastor walk in, and he said to me, he said, you know, I like you. And I said, why? He said, because you don't dance around me. You just move me the way I need to be moved, or you tell me which way I need to be moved, you know.
Right.
He said, a lot of times people dance around me all the time. He says, but you don't do that. Well, my job is to make sure that you have the best image that you need. And I'm passionate about that, because no matter what you do, you could either sing, you could be a pastor, you could be a real estate agent, you know, you could be a broker, whatever your job is, I'm supposed to make you look exactly like that, to project that image, to attract those customers in. If you're a cook, you know, I did a job for a Louisiana cook. A girl had a company that was crawfish. Mm-hmm. And we put her in that particular mode. I got a makeup artist in there. People don't know how important it is to have the right makeup, guys and girls. You know, for TV, you want to look your best. If you're going to get into this advertising field, you want to look your best. So get out of that old state of saying that, oh no, doesn't even look like me. Well, you want to look the best you can look. So why go on TV or take a portrait and look like you do every day? No, you're supposed to look your best, and that's my job, to direct you in that way, to give you the right poses that would project a great image for yourself and your business, produce your face in the best light. And so this becomes way past the guy that you thought that you can pay $2 and go take a picture and said, okay,
that's a passport picture.
A passport picture. And that thank you. That's exactly right. Exactly right. So I take pride in that, and I take pride in saying that I do take pride in my work, and that I have a passion for it, you know. And so it doesn't matter who that person is. I think everybody have a good side. And so your best side is where I look to bring out that great image to project for your customers.
Okay, well, we're almost out of time, Leslie, so quickly, let's talk about where your studio is again, how they can get in touch with you, how do they hire you to do a job?
My studio is in Baker, Louisiana. I am at 3211 Levy Lane. I am, my studio number is 225-775-8117. My cell number, which is there for business, 504-621-5930. You can reach me at lhendersonstudio@gmail.com, or my website is www.henderson.photoreflect.com or www.hendersonportraits.com.
Okay, and you're right there in the shopping center right near Baskin-Robbins, as you said.
Right in the shopping center near Baskin-Robbins in that same complex.
Okay, thanks for being on the show, and we hope you'll tune in next time. Until then, God bless. We'll see you next time.